Ladies and gentlemen, good morning everybody. We are here at the Sibbe course for the final round of the Dynamic Discs Tyyni 2019 presented by Latitude 64. It is 9:10 a.m. and our ladies lead card will be teeing off in just about 2 minutes. I believe the tournament director here today, Dean Schaub, just gave the 2-minute warning to our players. As always, you can follow the live scoring not only for this lead card today, but also to the chase cards, where there are still a few players capable of making moves towards the podium today. So check out how they are playing, play by play, and their scores by going to udisclive.com.
All right, and welcome to the lead card in FPO. First on the tee,
The first hole
Tyyni
here
Eskelinen.
in Sibbe, as Jenny Eskelinen is preparing to throw her opening shot of the day. So we're looking going uphill against an OB that narrows towards to the right. The hole is uphill, 80 meters long, and unfortunately Jenny finds the OB with her opening shot. She is just about circle 2's edge, but unfortunately on the OB side.
And next up from Norway, Sandvik.
Sandvik, who is tied for the lead with Jenny currently, is throwing her shot secondly. Lykke throws what appears to be a fairway driver of some sort, beautifully to the right side of the fairway. She's about 26, 27 meters away from the basket.
And from Estonia,
But she's looking to play at least an easy 3. Our third place player, Tattar from Estonia, is up on the tee next. She has all the power she needs to reach the basket, but will she take that high-risk shot? She throws a hyzer flip. It's trailing forward very nicely, fading in, and Kristin finds herself safe just about circle 1's edge. That was a brilliantly executed shot and should give her
Laine.
a possible chance to move up the scoreboard already here on hole 1. The fourth player to tee off is Laine from Finland, and I have to give a shout out to her for playing this well right now. She has a serious knee injury that she's been battling with this entire time. Unfortunately, she trickles down OB just shy of the basket. She's just about circle's edge, maybe a bit further away. But as I was saying, she's playing with a knee brace and has been playing with a knee brace this entire time during Tyyni 2019 because she wanted to participate in this tournament, and therefore after consulting doctors she decided to play with that knee brace. And despite the fact that she's battling that, she's now playing in the lead card with only 4 strokes separating her from the first position, so that is pretty impressive in itself. Jenny walks forward with her caddy. To check out where she possibly might have trickled OB. But Sandvik is first to approach. Lykke opts to go with the sidearm, lands just underneath the basket for a very easy 3. The players are making a decision on where Jenny and Heidi went out of bounds here on hole 1. So Jenny will be throwing her approach up next. Jenny throws a very confident looking half go at the basket. She's landed just underneath it for an easy tap in. Heidi up next. She decides to just lay up underneath the basket. There is OB right behind the basket, so that seems to be a very smart thing to do. Kristin does the same, not risking the OB behind the basket, knowing that she will have, or she will be tied with scores with Lykke, but gaining one on Jenny. So after hole 1, where Kristin and Lykke both score a par 3, while Jenny and Heidi will have to settle for bogey 4, we're moving to hole number 2. Hole number 2 here at Sibbe is a par 3, 87 meters downhill with OB right next to the tee on the right side, and then a mandatory tree that these players will need to navigate from the left side, looking from the tee. We're now standing underneath the Mando, and the players are looking to reach the green, which is guarded by those pine trees. So a good shot that will pass the Mando on the left side will be rewarded with an opportunity for a putt. However, those branches are hanging so low that and the players will be putting uphill, and therefore it is still not an easy putt, especially if you are, let's say, about circle's edge or so, because those low branches have a tendency to pull the discs out of the sky, because the putts will need to be going high. The players are taking their scores, marking their scores. And Lykke Sandvik from Norway will be the first one on the tee. You can either go backhand turnover around the Mando tree, or maybe take an even wider sidearm route. Lykke is looking to throw backhand. She throws a hyzer flip backhand shot, straight. She's cleared the Mando, and she's parked with less than a meter to go to the basket. That should be an easy birdie for her. A very nice shot. Kristin up next. She opts to go with backhand as well. Kristin with a similar looking line, a bit higher though. She drops into the green, gets a roll underneath that one small bush. She is inside the circle with about an 8-meter putt ahead of her, but the stance from that bush is probably going to require a straddling stance. Jenny Eskelinen next. Jenny throws an even higher backhand line. She doesn't have quite the same power as Kristin had, so she's landing about 14 meters away from the basket, just outside circle 2, but with an outside circle 1, but with an unobstructed putt. Heidi is next up. Heidi throws a low line with a lot of power, trailing in and gliding and sliding to just inside circle 1. So currently Jenny is the furthest from the tee. Looking at a 15-meter, maybe 16-meter putt to the basket. We're waiting for the players to reach their lie, as we're bringing this live coverage to you from the FPO Final round here at Dynamic Discs Tyyni 2019, presented by Latitude 64. We are at Sibbe course here in Sipoo, where all of the events during Tyyni are taking place, or let's say most of the events during Tyyni are taking place. This is the same course that the finals were played on also last year. So to those who witnessed the action a year ago, this will be a familiar setting. It is the exact same course we played a year ago. So Jenny will be first to putt. Oh, she goes just a little high, missing the basket by only a few inches. Kristin.
Outside. Yeah, go.
Okay. So the players are discussing, and it appears Heidi will be putting first. She just lays up underneath the basket. She was needing to go around that tree. So Kristin Tattar up next. Oh, she hits the cage. Can't quite capitalize on that putt, but a very good run. It's the first putt jitters here in the morning. Jenny up next. Jenny taps in for par. Kristin taps in for par. Lykke with that beautiful birdie with barely anything but a tap in. And finally Heidi cleans up her par as well here on hole 2. We're moving to hole 3, which is a straight hyzer shot, 100 meters straight, a little bit downhill, where the fairway is trailing slightly to the left, so that the players will need their discs to fade outside of the guardian birch trees to reach the green and putt for their, hopefully, what will turn out to be birdies. After 2 holes now, we have Lykke stretching her solo lead with 2 strokes over Jenny Eskelinen already, with Kristin trailing Jenny by 1 shot. Lykke is at 6 over par, Jenny at 8 over par, and Kristin at 9 over par, whereas Heidi is now 12 over, so with a 6-stroke difference to our leader, Lykke. So here on hole number 3, the players will have to go around those guardian birch trees and then finally fade left to reach the green. That the basket is not visible from the tee because it is guarded by those trees, but we will see how these ladies will handle this tee shot here on hole number 3. So 100 meters, about 330 feet forward. Lykke throws it high. It starts fading towards the left, but it looks to be slightly short. She's just outside circle 2. Up next is Kristin Tattar. Kristin mashes one out there, slightly lower line, and that looks to be trailing very nicely. She should be inside circle 1 with that shot. Yeah, Jenny throws a nice looking shot as well. She is about maybe 20 meters away from the basket now. Heidi throws a nice looking shot as well. It's trailing very good towards the left. Now, all four drives were really, really good, and these players should be able to see the basket and maybe give a run for their birdies. I do apologize for giving the measurements wrong. There's a difference between the actual hole length and the one I have available to me. This hole is actually 120 meters long, so we're pushing the 400 foot, maybe 410 foot mark. On this one, 120 meters to the basket, which means that the players are not as close to the basket as I was originally saying they are, due to the basket being moved back. We're witnessing a flock of geese fly over us, so a flyby greeting to our lead card by the local, I guess you could call it, Nature's Air Force. We're approaching the green, and we find that Lykke is about 30 meters away from the basket. Kristin, being the closest to the basket, is still about 15 meters away, so the hole plays slightly longer than when it appeared from the tee pad. As mentioned, the basket has been moved back a little bit for this year. Lykke approaches with a sidearm, hits a tree just in front of the basket and finds herself still 11 meters away. Eskelinen is at Circle 2's edge now, with a clear view at the basket from where we are. She throws a nice little jumper to go underneath the basket. Heidi lays up two underneath the basket as well for her three. Kristin up next from about 15 meters. Kristin decides also to lay up underneath the basket with that putt. And Lykke has about 12 meters to go after that tree hit. She hits the cage. That was exactly on line, but a little too low, so she will have to settle for a bogey 4 here on hole 3. Jenny cleans up nicely for her par. Lykke cleans up her bogey 4. And Kristin and Heidi are also cleaning up for their pars, which means that Jenny caught up with Lykke with 1 stroke, with now only 1 stroke separating those two players. As always, I am counting the scores in my head, so there might be some little mistakes, but fortunately you can go to udisclive.com to see the live scoring for the final round today here at Sandvik Golf Course. As we're moving up to hole number 4, Lykke is still in the lead with 1 stroke separating her from our second place player Jenny Eskelinen currently, with Tattar trailing her by 1, so it is still a very tight race after 3 holes here on the final round. at the Sibbe course during Tyyni 2019. Hole number 4 is mostly about distance. It is 115 meters, so almost the same length as the previous one, except that this time the ground is slightly flatter. The ground is slightly flatter, so the shot will require a little bit more power. The only real danger on hole number 4 are the trees on the right, as well as a barn on the right, which, given an errant shot, might take the disc out of the air. And if that happens, the players will have quite a ways longer approaches to the guarded basket, which has been placed in a circle formed by those high birch trees that you will see once we reach the green. Tattar, our champion from last year, has been filmed before, and she has appeared in quite a bit of coverage, but I believe this is the first time for Lykke, not counting the other rounds here at Tyyni, to be on any kind of footage actually. And Eskelinen has been playing for a while, and I know that she appears in several videos, especially from the Finnish Nationals and the Finnish National Tour, the Pro Tour here in Finland. So the basket is located right in between those tall birch trees on the left side of those rocks. And as mentioned before, the only problem here is not to trail too much to the right. Kristin is first on the tee. Then throws a mash that looks to be a hyzer flip. It's trailing right, dodges those trees, starts fading back in, and she's left with about 15 meters or so to go to the basket. And that's about 50, 60 feet or so. Jenni throws a high flexing line. It trails to the right, dodges that birch tree, fades back in, and she's just behind those rocks at circle's edge. Heidi mashes that disc. There looks to be so much power in there, considering her knee situation. Unfortunately, that line was a little low, so she still has about 20 meters or so to go to the basket, but she's in the middle of the fairway. Lykke meshes one there, looking to throw a similar line to the previous ladies. She fades in slightly earlier than the others. She has an unobstructed look at the basket, but she still has about 25 meters or so to go. The battle is on here at the final round of the Dynamic Discs Tyyni 2019, presented by Latitude 64. This is the largest disc golf tournament in Europe, with 967 registered players this year. And we are now following the lead card of the Ladies Pro Open Division for the final round of the tournament here at Sibbe course in Sipoo, Finland. So Heidi is up first. She is 25 meters out. in the middle of the fairway. She throws an Anheuser putt, fades in just a bit early, but she only has 2 more meters to go to the basket. That should be a tap in. Lucca from a similar distance, let's say 24 meters or so. Lucca attempts a putt to the basket, misses it just from the right side, and is left with 3 meters to go. Jenny from just outside circle 1. Jenny attempts a putt from that distance. Doesn't quite catch metal, but she's very close to the basket. Kristin from a similar distance. She has about 12 meters to go, just outside circle 1. A little step putt just below the basket. So all of our ladies are now parked to within 2 to 3 meters off the basket, and we'll be cleaning up their pars as we move on to hole number 5 very soon. Lucca cleans up her par 3. Jenny cleans up her par 3. Kristin does the same. And finally, Hades left with 2 meters. Yes, easy work. So it is a star par for these ladies here in the lead card of the final round of the FPO Ladies Pro Open Division here in Tyyni 2019. We're moving to hole number 5, which is yet another long hole, 120 meters, so about 400, a little less than 400 feet or so. However, it's downhill, and the real danger in this hole is that if you fade out, if you do not commit to your shots, and if you fade out too early to the left, you might find yourself from some rough where your footing for the approach or the putt can provide to be slightly tricky. Kristin is first on the tee. She throws a hyzer flip shot. We're waiting it to fade down. It was a bit low, so she's left just outside circle 1. That was a crush though. Jenny is up next. Jenny throws in a wider line that's trailing right. She gets a fortunate tree kick back to the center of the fairway, but she still has about 30 meters or so to go to the basket. Hades up next. Similar looking line to what Jenny just did. She was also trailing right, hits those same trees, and gets a similar kick to almost the exact same position in the same spot. Lykkä throws a slightly wider line from the left, and she trails into that rough on the left side. She is not far from the basket, only about, let's say, 15 meters or so. We will see the exact distance once we get closer. But to find a footing to do a putt from that position sometimes can prove to be a little bit tricky. We'll see how these ladies will handle this situation. And yes, as mentioned in the comments by Tapani Aulu, Jenni is our current European champion in the FPO division, so she has appeared on coverage quite a bit, and she's a fierce competitor here in Europe. And we are extremely happy and extremely fortunate to be able to witness this action live here on the Sibbe Disc Golf Course. As we're approaching the lie of Jenni and Heidi, we will see what these players are up to do next. Jenni attempt a putt from 30 meters out. So nearly hits the basket, just missing high right, rolling to about 4 meters away long. That was a very nice looking putt. Heidi is slightly closer. She has about 25 meters ahead of her. She lays up underneath the basket. She still has about, well, she's in tap-in range quite nicely. So Lykkä is about 16 meters away. Tries to connect, goes just a tad bit high, going to about 5 meters long of the basket. Kristin from 11 meters. Oh, Kristin hits the top band, so very nearly in, but denied by the top band. She will still have a very easy 3 from this hole. And yes, I do apologize. Sorry, it's early in the morning, so I'm getting kind of confused with my words ever again. I meant to say that she's a former European champion, not the current. But anyway, she's a fierce competitor and has appeared on coverage many times before. Lykkä cleans in for her par 3. Easy work. Heidi cleans her 3. Jenni for her 3. And finally Kristin for hers. For the third hole in a row now, the situation is unchanged, so there's still 1 stroke separating our leader in Lykkä Sandvik from our second place player Jenni Eskelinen, with Tattar trailing her by 1, so it is still an extremely tight race as we're moving forward here at the Sibbe course. Moving to hole number 6, this proved to provide quite a lot of entertainment a year ago. Hole 6 is a par 4 of 200 meters of length, where the players are first navigating a tight tunnel from between the woods, between the trees, with OB on the right, close right the entire way, and trailing. The OB on the right begins to curve inwards towards the left. So the players will need to throw a straight to fade shot out of these woods, and it still needs to be long to clear the dense, thick pine trees on the left side. It seems our chase card is still playing hole number 6. So we're experiencing a tiny backup. So our chase card is currently about 300 feet in front of the tee, planning for their second shots. Terry Miller is taking his camera to see the action of the chase card as well. He's doing post-production coverage of this round as well, so if you are in the US right now, or somewhere else where you're finding it hard to stay awake, remember you can also see the action here post-produced by Terry Miller, the disc golf guy, later into the future. The ladies in our lead card are walking forward here on hole 6 to see the action of the chase card in person. We're experiencing a little bit of difficulty with our gimbal system here, so bear with us. And remember to follow the action, to follow the live scoring, log on to udisclive.com, or actually just go to the website udisclive.com to check out the play-by-play scores and the leaderboard, not only of the leader card, but of the other cards of the FPO field here at Tyyni 2019. UDisc has provided us with this service so that you can follow the play-by-play score. So thanks to Josh and Matt and the rest of the guys at UDisc for making that happen and help us out. We're still undecided on, or actually Terry is still undecided on who he is going to do the live commentary or the commentary to the post-produced footage with, but you will see that and find out in the near future. We're witnessing the battle here. It's exciting to watch and it's exciting to see. We're soon ready to go.
I guess we're good to go. Yeah.
Kristin is first up on the tee. Kristin mashes one out there. It's trailing left exactly as it should, and I think she has hit the sweet spot. Henny is up next on the box. Henny goes slightly wider, trailing back towards the left. She's mid-center fairway. She's safe and looking for a relatively easy second shot. Katie meshes one out there as well. Just missing those trees on the right side, trailing back to the left. That looks money, that one. That was a very nice shot. Lekka throws the optimal line, trailing left. She is safe and finds herself on flat ground with a fairly open look at the basket. As we're following the players moving up the fairway from the tee of hole number 6 here at Sandvik, you can see the tight tunnel that these players are having to navigate, as well as the white stakes marking the OB right that they would have to avoid. So the tee shot is crucial to shooting a good score here on hole number 6, because if you fade out too early or you throw too left while trying to avoid that OB, you will find yourself in these thick woods on our left side with a very awkward look for your second shot. And then if you trail too much to the right or hit any of those guardian trees on the right side, it is very likely you will find yourself OB. This is a very technical hole while still requiring quite a bit of distance. And these ladies have shown us just how the tee shots are supposed to be thrown. Our chase cart players are looking to approach the basket. The basket is on top of that hill with the staircase. So we are still a fair 130, 140 meters or so short, so about 400, 420 feet short. And the basket is on a hill, so these players will have to be throwing upward if they want to reach the green from here. The high hyzer line, however, is blocked by those guardian pine trees on the right side. So the players can either go full power, straight to fade shot, that will require quite a bit of power to reach, or they can try to play conservatively, play a hyzer shot over the guardian trees to the foot of that hill, if they will be happy to settle for their par 4. So it's an actual risk and reward shot. We're really happy and excited to bring you this action of the lead card here on the final round of Dynamic Discs Tyyni 2019, presented by Latitude 64. Remember that you can still follow the whole and play-by-play scores of all cards in the FPO and the MPO divisions by going to udisclive.com and following the action there. Thank you to the volunteers who are following our lead card ladies here, filling out the data for UDisc and for you to watch at home. As a side note, this early in the morning, we could have used a few more volunteers, or actually UDisc could have used a few more volunteers, because, for example, in our chase card, one of the players is doing the live scoring at the same time as she plays. Helga is sizing up her options, waiting for the chase card to clear the green. Hole out on this hole number 6. I can hear the chains from the top of that hill. And it seems like the chase card has now holed out. They're slowly clearing the way. And Sandvik is first to approach.
Yes, I have 3 pot.
Yeah, we do have a tripod. Luca throws a flexing backhand shot. She hits that one guardian tree, and she still has about 60 meters to go to the green from here. Next up is Tyyni Eskelinen. Tyyni mashes one out there. Does it have enough juice behind it? Oh, it lands just a bit short on the left side. She will have herself finding an obstructed lie towards the basket with all of those low-hanging limbs. But we'll see how this one folds out in the end. I think Kristin is next up. She's more to the left of the other lady, so she will have to settle for that hyzer line. She does exactly that, going over the guardian trees, trying to bite off as much distance as she can, and she is just at the foot of that hill, as mentioned, for a rather difficult uphill putt, but still a makeable one, but should be an easy 4. Tyyni. He slips a little, but that shot is looking really good. It starts trailing to the left, hits the staircase, and she finds herself at a similar lie to Kristin, just at the foot of that hill. From underneath that hill, you cannot see the whole basket. You can see the top side of the basket from there. So the putt is definitely makeable, but it is rather steeply up. And therefore, it will require quite a bit of putting skills for these players to be able to capitalize on those great second shots that we've just seen here on hole 6 at Sibbe. Luque, after that tree kick that denied her from reaching the basket, is throwing her third shot, looking to go over the hill from here for her par 4. She throws in a hyzer a bit short left. She is on the hill, but she is still about 20 meters short of the basket. Depending on where Tyyni finds her disc, this could be a swing at the top position. Because Tyyni now has the chance to gain at least 1 stroke, depending on where she finds her disc at. Not to mention Kristin, who is trailing very closely behind, is in an excellent spot after 2 very well executed shots, and she is looking to make moves towards the top. Tyyni goes patent pending. There are those small pine trees in front of her, obstructing her line. She just looks to approach the basket. She is just underneath it, maybe sliding a bit forward, but she should be able to tap in for a par from there. Kristin is sizing up her shot. Kristin throws her in just underneath the basket. The ladies, as well as the MPO today, will only be playing 18 holes. So Tyyni tournament is made of 3 18-hole rounds, and we're now on the final round here at Sibbe. Heidi throws hers uphill, landing just short of the basket. So there will be no birdies today on this hole number 6 for the FPO lead card. However, 3 of our 4 players are looking at fairly straightforward cleanup par 4s as Luke is preparing to putt in for her par. Luke tries one. Oh, she hits the top band, going just a bit high from that awkward stance, and she will have to settle for bogey at best. She's still nearly the furthest from the pin. No correction on that. Jenny's approach slid underneath the basket and went down that hill. So she is still furthest. Looking to putt in for her par. Oh, she just misses the basket on the right side. And Luca catches the cage going a little bit low. This might be the swing that we were already describing or anticipating. Heidi putts in beautifully for her par. Jenny up next. Jenny putts in for her, what I believe to be bogey 5. Kristin cleans up a par 4. And Luca will walk away from hole 6 with a double bogey 6. And with this play, we find 3 players now tied for the lead at 9 over par here at Sibbe Disc Golf Course for the final round of Tyyni 2019. So with that double bogey, Luca gave away those 2 strokes that Kristin was trailing her by, and also with a bogey, Jenny let Kristin close in and caught Luca at the same time. So we have a 3-way lead, or 3-way tie at the lead. Hole number 7 is another par 4, slightly longer than the previous one. 211 meters, so about 460 feet or so. No, it must be more. It has to be way more. It's like 600 plus feet. There we go. 600 plus feet, where you're first throwing an open shot, open wide shot to the fairway that is trailing towards the left, going around those birch trees. And then after that, there is an OB pond that these players will have to dodge. And after that, the fairway narrows in very closely, starts going uphill towards the right, where the basket is located at the end of a long clearing. Kristin is first on the tee. She throws a crush out there. It's coming in nicely, takes a good skip. Kristin finds herself in the middle of the fairway at a very good spot for her second shot. Heidi meshes one out there as well. It's a slightly lower line. Yes, she dodges that rock out there, finds herself a bit shorter than Kristin, but at a very good spot. Jenny's third on the tee. Jenny throws a more inside line. A lot of power. Oh, it kicks just the lowest branches of that birch tree, and that denies her that final fade in. Luca goes a little bit too much to the right, does not get the fade in, kicks a birch tree on the right side, and stays underneath it. That was an unfortunate mishap on Luca's part. Let's see how she recovers from that shot. Thank you to the people with the calculators at home. 211 meters is indeed 675 feet, so quite a long ways. And as you look forward to where the chase card players are currently at the far end of this grassy clearing, that is when the pathway up and right begins, and the basket is located at the end of that pathway, about 35-40 meters from the edge of this grassy clearing. You can also see the white stakes marking the edges of the OB pond. Luca is looking to find a footing that would give her a clearing from between these two pine trees. She's going to have to throw some sort of an Anheuser line, maybe patent pending Anheuser line, to dodge the guardian trees on the left. She does exactly that, fading in nicely to the middle of the fairway. That was a very good recovery from that position. We're walking forward along the fairway to find Jenny slightly on the left side of the center of fairway. Those guardian trees on the left side of the fairway are blocking her from that straight shot. So she was going to have to go with some sort of a hyzer line. She goes a little bit too much to the right, gets a tree kick, but kicks backwards to the open fairway. Fortunately for her, because if that kick would have gone right, that would have been a lot of trouble. Heidi's up next after her crush of a drive. Heidi's throwing mid-range into that gut. It's going exactly where she wants it. Gets a bit of a skip to the left, but that it was a beautifully executed shot. Kristin up next. Kristin actually has a look at the basket from here already. She's going there, hits those top limbs of that tall pine tree, and finds herself obstructed on the right side. This hole can be challenging and brutal if you go away from the fairway. In this beginning there is space to navigate with, but the further we go, the tighter it gets. Lycka with her third shot. Throwing in a flexing Anheuser shot. She penetrates through that last tree on the left side, so she should have an open look at the basket. However, she is still about 40 meters away. Jenny is pinched to the right side of the fairway. So she is looking to go scrambling with a pending shot. She's looking to throw an Anheuser into that gap to have an open look at the basket for her next shot. That's a little bit too much on the inside, but she gets a good kick back into the fairway. She has a look at the basket from that spot. Next up, we're going to try and find Kristin's lie. Kristin also finds herself on the right side with quite a dense crop of woods between her and the basket.
Is this out of bounds on the left side?
No.
No.
She tries to go to that gap, hits a tree, the nearest tree to the fairway on the right, and is denied, so she's still 40 meters away with her third shot on the hole. So this is Hades. Oh, it is Jenny who is playing next for her fourth shot here on hole 7. That shot escapes a little bit too much to the right. She kicks a tree, but gets kicked back into the fairway. Kristin is up next, lining up a sidearm approach to the basket. She does exactly that. She is inside the circle with about 5-meter putt ahead of her. Heidi is only throwing her third shot from this position. Heidi throwing a nice looking sidearm, and she is parked for her par 4. That was a beautiful shot by Heidi Laine. We are approaching Lucas' disc. She is on the left side of these pine trees, so she has a fairly open look. Okay, clips a tree, gets a little bounce to just about circle's edge, short left of the basket, with what I believe to be her fourth shot. Jenny
Good up.
maybe tries a half go at the basket from 35 meters away, lands right underneath it with a very easy upshot, or easy looking upshot, let's put it that way. And she is also left with only a tap in to go. Okay, from just say 6 meters away or so. Oh, she hits the top band and is denied. Kristin up next. Yes, she nails it in for her, what I believe to be a bogey 5 here on hole number 7. Luca taps in for her. I believe to be double bogey. And Jenny and Heidi clean up and hole out here on hole number 7. So there is a switch again at the top of the board. We were coming into this hole with a 3-way tie, and now Kristin is holding solo lead after taking a bogey on that one, while both Jenny and Luca were settling, unfortunately, for double bogeys on that hole. So now Kristin holds a 1-shot lead over Jenny and Luca, and Heidi has been doing catching up as well. She is only 2 strokes from the lead, currently in 4th position, trailing our 2nd place players with 1 stroke. Hole number 8 here at Sibbe is a downhill hole with a Mando on the left side, 95 meters downhill, with the basket located on top of a big boulder. So the race is getting tight on top of our leaderboard again. And the disc golf we're witnessing today is definitely worthy for this final round, and definitely worthy of all this coverage we are extremely happy to bring you from the Tyyni 2019 event. So 95 meters downhill, par 3, Mando on the left. The basket guarded by a few trees located on top of a boulder, so it is somewhat of an elevated basket. Our chase card is still playing hole number 8, so we will experiencing a tiny bit of backup. Go to udisclive.com to check out the current scores, not only for this lead card, but also for the chase card and the other cards before that. If you look at the hole by hole play there on udisclive.com, you will see that our chase card was really experiencing a little difficulties during hole 6, and therefore the 20-minute gap between the teeing times of our chase card and our lead card has now been caught up. So we are waiting for the chase card here on hole number 8 to finish their play on this hole, so that our lead card players can continue with the action and continue for the battle for that first place here at Dynamic Discs 2019 Tyyni, presented by Latitude 64.
Mä luulen Heidi, että se väylä on vapaa.
Ei oo vielä. Puttailee siellä. Ei kun paikka onko?
Last year in the FPO Final, Greg Barsby aced this hole with a sidearm, and also this year this has been aced, but this time with a backhand shot. Heidi is first on the tee. Throwing a backhand line, hits a guardian tree and is kicked down with about 40 meters or so to go to the pin. There is a small gallery forming behind the basket as we are witnessing our athletes here battle it out for the final round. Kristin is up next on the tee. She throws a towering hyzer on top of everything, unfortunately catching a top of a pine tree and falling down short. Then he goes down the gut with the mid-range, but is also denied by one of these guardian trees. Luca takes also a backhand line, catches a right side of that one tree and gets a kick right and forward to the fairway. A little bit unfortunate for all of the players here in our lead card. We will see what kind of lies they find themselves in as we move down along the fairway of hole number 8 here at Sandvik Disc Golf Course in Sipoo, Finland. I find it extremely nice, extremely exciting, and I'm super happy that we already have a gallery forming here to also witness the FPO play here at Tyyni 2019. It is always a pleasure to watch these ladies play, both live as well as through the live coverage and the post-production coverage that Terry Miller will be producing. Some of the ladies are looking for their discs currently. There's quite a bit of foliage and undergrowth, so a little searching needs to be done. It seems Jenny has located Lucas' disc from just underneath that small clump of trees on the right side. Is about 50 meters away from the pin currently. Looking to scramble from underneath those trees. We have Kristin Tattar holding a one-stroke lead on the field currently. And Luke is trying to catch her from this position. Looking to go pen pending. Low anhyzer shot from that position. She is short. She's just inside the 20-meter circle, so just inside circle 2. But with a clear look at the basket from where she is. Heidi is lining up her approach next. She goes a little long. She is long off the basket with about 6-meter putt ahead of her. We're moving down to find where Jenny and Kristin have landed with their drives here on hole 8. So Kristin Tattar finds herself 30 meters away from the basket, but with a clear look at the elevated basket on top of that boulder. She has her putters in her hands. And she looks to be trying to run it. The jump putt from that distance hits a tree just in front of the basket and stops the disc just underneath, so she will have a tap in for 3. Jenny from a similar spot. Jenny decides to lay up underneath the basket. Remember that you can check the play-by-play scoring on udisclive.com. Lucke from just inside circle 2. She throws in a high putt, almost drawing metal on that one. It was just a little short. It was exactly on line, just a little short. She's on the left side of the basket now. So Heidi is the next to tee. She has about a 7-meter, 8-meter putt. And she drains it in. That was a beautifully executed putt that for her par 3 here on hole 8. Jenny putting next. She cans it in straight to the pole for her par 3. Lucke also for her bogey 4. And Kristin cleans up her par 3. So the scoring on this hole increases Kristin's lead to Lucke by 1 stroke. And Lucke also loses 1 to Jenny, which I believe means that Jenny is now holding tight 2nd place. No, yes, exactly. So Jenny and Lucke are now tied at 2nd place, trailing Kristin by 1. Hole number 9 is 110 meters long. 110 meters long. There is OB left, there is OB right on that road, and the basket is there between those trees on that hillside with a quite fast green because of the rocks. It is also worth noting that the fairway is angled slightly towards the left, so the shots that fade out too early are at risk of fading towards the left even stronger than they would on even flat ground. So 110 meters, par 3, and Heidi Laine first on the tee. She mashes one out there. It turns slightly, but does it turn enough? She is fading to the left, and she finds herself inbounds, about 20 meters short. Kristin up next on the tee. She throws a wider line, it'll go straight, starts fading back in, hits the last possible tree, leaving her just inside circle 2. Jenni Eskelinen up next. Jenni throws a turning shot that starts trailing back, fading, stabling out towards the left, gets a nice kick, and she is also just inside circle 2, in the middle of the fairway. Lykke up next. Lykke shot is straining to the right, looking beautiful. It starts stabling, goes in, and she finds herself in almost the exact same position as Jenni. So, as the situation stands, I correct myself with the scores. As I said, I'm keeping the scores in my head, so there might be some mistakes. So Kristin is our current leader with her score of 10 over par, trailed by 1 stroke by Jenni Eskelinen at plus 11. And then we have a tie for 3rd place with Kristin Sandvik and Heidi Laine at 12 over par. So Heidi has been moving up the scoreboard extremely steadily ever since round 1. This is her first time here now on the lead card, but it seems like she's playing very solid golf at the moment and finds herself in podium place for the time being. Lykke is just at the edge of circle 2. Lykke lays up underneath the basket for her par. Heidi is up next from a similar distance, just outside circle 2. Clips a branch and is left with about a 6-meter putt. Kristin from about 15 meters in. She misses on the right side, but she should have a fairly easy comeback for her par. Jenni up next from about 12 meters out. Oh, hits the cage, gets a bit of a roll away, but is still only left with a 4-meter putt. So all of these ladies in the lead card are now putting for their par 3 scores here on hole number 9. First up is Laine. No problem for her. Nicely executed putt. Jenny cleans up her 3. Kristin cleans up her 3. And Lykke does the same, meaning that the positions of our lead card players remain unchanged on the scoreboard after finishing and holing out here on hole 9. Next, there is a rather long walk towards hole number 10. We are approaching the backside of the Sandvik course, which changes character from so far. Currently, we've been playing in the woods, throwing some rather long holes. Now we're moving to the more technical part of the course, where the key aspect or the key feature is elevation change, which is evident and exemplified really well by hole number 10, which is a 70-meter uphill par 3 that you are throwing on a rocky hill with trees in the way and with a very fast, slippery green on all sides of the basket. The safest side is actually long of the basket because there the decline of the hill is at its lowest. But on the short side, on the right side, on the left side of the pin, on hole 10 that we're approaching as we walk, all cage hits, chain outs and rollaways have a possibility to turn out very unfortunate. At worst, we could experience rollaways of almost 40 meters or so. So let's hope this does not happen today and see how our players tackle hole number 10 here at Sibbe. Remember that I might be a little bit off with my score counting every once in a while, but you don't have to be, because you can go to udisclive.com to check out the play-by-play, hole-by-hole action, as well as the scorecard for the leaderboard. We have our volunteers following us, updating the UDisc Live so that you can remain up to date and up to speed on what is happening here on the final round of the Dynamic Discs Tyyni 2019 presented by Latitude 64. We're following the lead card of the FPO division, so the Ladies Pro Open division, as we are a couple of minutes walk away from hole number 10 and the tee pad there. Thank you for tuning in on this live broadcast that we are doing. We wouldn't be doing this without you. So thanks for joining us. We really appreciate your support and we really appreciate you being here.
Hieno putti.
We're walking behind Tyyni Eskelinen and her caddy, and she seems to be in really good spirits, laughing and joking with her caddy. And she seems ready to go to fight for that first place, trailing Kristin, our current leader, by only 1 stroke. So it's still really tight at the top of the scorecard. Our chase card is finishing their putts on hole number 10 as we're approaching the tee pad. Our chase car players have now holed out here on hole number 10, moved to the next tee pad, so we're ready to begin the action of our lead card ladies for this final round. So once more, hole number 10 is not that long. It's only 70 meters long. It's a par 3, but it's going steeply uphill, and it is rocky, guarded by trees. So any bad angles hitting the ground are possible rollaways, and some of them might even be relatively big ones. Laine is first up on the box. He smashes one out there, going to navigate the middle gap, does exactly that, and is left at circle one's edge, just short of the basket. Kristin up next. She throws a hyzer flip looking shot, hits the hillside, gets the skip she wants. She's on the left side of the basket, just outside circle one's edge. Jenny up next. Jenny looks to go through the middle gap as well, but she kicks a tree on the left side and is left short on the right side of the fairway. Lycka. Lycka goes with an anhyzer shot over those trees, gets a little tree kick at the last guardian, and is still left with about 30 meters or so to go to the pin from the left side short of this hole number 10. Again, he has a clear look at the basket from between these guardians. She's still about 55 meters away. She throws a mid-range up the gut. It looked to be exactly the right length, however she's a little bit left of the basket, looking at a putt from just inside circle one, I believe. The camera doesn't really appreciate how steep this hill actually is, but these players are having to throw very high up to go up this hill. And as mentioned before, the ground is rocky, so any kinds of bounces and slip-aways can result in some very unfriendly rolls. Lukka throws in her approach. She is inside 6 meters off the basket. Heidi from just outside circle 1. She throws a nice looking hyzer putt at the basket. Unfortunately, she's a bit short. Is left with a tap in for her 3. Kristin from a similar distance, but a slightly better looking lie. She's just inside the circle. She hits the cage and gets that exact roll away I was hoping we would not see. She is left just outside of circle 1 after that roll away, looking at an uphill putt from here. Oh, she hits the chains on the right side, but it doesn't stay in. Kristin will be taking a bogey 4 here on hole 10. Jenny does capitalize on that putt, so that will tie her in the lead with Kristin after hole 10. Lukka cleans her par, easy work. Kristin cleans up for her bogey 4, and Heidi with an easy tap in for her par 3. So there's again a little change in position. So what we are now, we have a two-way tie or two-player tie for the lead with Jenny and Kristin battling it out, as well as a two-player tie for third place with Heidi and Lukka currently. Remember that you can check the live scoring from udisclive.com to witness the play-by-play scores from there. We're now on hole number 11. It's a downhill hole, 90 meters, par 3, with the Mando on the right side that you will need to pass from the left, and with the basket sitting on top of a rocky hill on the right forward side of the fairway after a valley that these players will have to be throwing over. It seems like silver is, we cannot see the basket from here, unfortunately. It is in that direction, just right of the Mando tree, on top of that next hill, behind all of those guardian trees, right there. A very common play on this hole, so 85 meters long, and a very common play on this hole is a sidearm shot, kind of wide left, and then use the natural fade of the disc to carry it all the way up to that hill on the far side right. We're really proud and really happy to be here and showing you the battle these ladies are facing here at the Sandvik course for the final round of Tyyni 2019. And we will also be providing you with live coverage of the FPO lead card later today, starting at 10 past 3 local time here in Finland. Heidi's first on the tee. It seems Silver is the spotter on the left side, giving her the green light to go. The fairway is free. Heidi throws in an Anheuser line, clips a tree on the far left side and is left underneath in that valley. She still has about 30 meters to go uphill to the basket on top of that next hill. Jenni's up next. She's lining the more traditional sidearm shot. She throws it on the inside line, trailing towards the right, missing everything. And she's just outside circle 1 on top of that hill on the right side of the basket. That was a very good shot. Lykke lines up another sidearm from the tee. Lykke's shot is also tight, but is it too tight? It's a little too tight. She does make the Mando, but then clips the top of that tall pine tree and falls down. Kristin is going sidearm as well. Kristin is throwing almost the perfect line, but she hits the top of that last tree on the left side and is denied, falls down on the bottom of that tree to an elevated lie, so she will still be able to throw a straight shot downhill towards the pin from that position, but she is about 50 to let's say about 40 to 50 meters away from the basket still. Whereas Jenni is now at circle's edge. The players are trying to locate Lykke's disc here on the right side of the fairway currently. And it seems like the disc is...
Is it up there?
It might be... Oh, there's a blue disc up in the tree. Fortunately, that one does not belong to Lykke Sandvik. Seems like her disc did fall down, and I think I did see it fall down, like directly down. Yes, Lykke is ready to go. She is lining another sidearm to approach the basket. She's a bit short. She should have about a 5-meter uphill putt ahead of her. And the hill falls down quite steeply right after the basket, so that is still not an easy putt for her. Kristin from between those trees. She's also going sidearm, looking to go around the Guardians with an Anheuser line. She does just that, but she goes long. She's about 10 meters long off the basket, facing an uphill putt from there with a very fast green that we can now see on this side of the basket. Heidi up next. Oh, Heidi gets a roll away from hitting that rock just underneath the basket, and she is still about 15 meters away. If you want to see the scoreboard, log on to udisclive.com or just put that in your mobile phone or web browser or whatever you want to use, and check out udisclive.com to see the live scoring and play-by-play hole-by-hole scores. So Heidi up next from 13 meters out. She throws it up there, gets another of those rollaways, and is left with almost the exact same putt. That was a very bad break. Let's see how she can collect herself. She goes higher this time, and now she succeeds in sticking the disc right underneath the basket with only about 2 meters of distance left. That was a very bad break for Heidi after playing extremely solid for the first 10 holes.
I would say it's Kristen first. Okay. Then maybe you.
Okay. So Kristen is now behind the basket, looking at a 6 meter putt or so. Opts to just lay up underneath the basket because of that steep drop right behind. Lykke up next. Yep. Lykke capitalizes very well from that spot. Shooting her par 3. Jenni's looking to do the Yes, Jenni throws in her birdie 2 from that position after that beautiful drive of hers, moving her up the scoreboard. Heidi cleans up her, I believe to be a bogey 4, as well as Kristin does. So there's yet another shift in the scoreboard as we're moving on to hole number 12. So after 11 holes where we're at, you can also check this yourself from udisclive.com. But we are now, Jenni is holding the solo lead with 10 over par, holding a 2-stroke advantage over Kristin Tattar and Lykke Sandvik, who are tied for second. And then Heidi Laine, after that, unfortunately, it actually was a double bogey for her, finds herself trailing the leader now by 4 strokes, and the other 2 competitors on the lead card by 2 strokes. So go to udisclive.com to check out the hole-by-hole, play-by-play scoring currently. We're approaching hole number 12 here at Sibbe Disc Golf Course. This is a par 4 of 150 meters, going down this wooded tunnel and turning right on top of that second rocky hill you see in front of you. And after that, it goes straight again for yet another approximately 60 meters or so. This is a very tough technical hole. There is not much room to go over the top for these players, so the safest bet would be to throw a turnover or a sidearm shot just down that gut to stay middle of the fairway and vie for position for that approach shot or a putt on to a possible birdie 3. The chase card is still playing in front of us. They have just teed off with what looks to be 1 or 2 slightly more errant shots because they are searching for their discs just on the short side of that second hill, which is 90 meters away from the tee. So a late turning shot from the tee that goes straight for the first 90 meters or so and then starts trailing towards the right would be the one shot you would want to throw on this hole, like directly from the tee. We also saw some pretty incredible action on this hole last year when we were following our MPO lead card on this hole. This hole proved to swing the scores for some of our players, and it has done so especially in the amateur divisions throughout the 3 last years that Tyyni has been played here in this course. As we're waiting for the backup to clear, our players on the lead card are walking down the fairway to look how the chase card ladies are tackling this hole, and we'll get right back to you as soon as the fairway is clear for us. Remember that you can check the live scoring from udisclive.com for the entire duration of today, both for the FPO and the MPO fields for all cards. So go there, search for your favorite player, see how they are doing, or just look at the scoreboards and follow the play-by-play of our lead card players to see who will be bringing home those beautiful trophies they are handing out to the champions and the podium finishers this year on all divisions here in Dynamic Discs Tyyni 2019, presented by Latitude 64. We're really happy to have you here. Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to join us also later today at approximately 3 o'clock when the MPO players will begin their final round. The lead card MPO players will begin their final round, teeing off 10 past 3 local time here in Sipoo, Finland. We are at the Sibbe course, the home of Tyyni, you could say. The weather is looking up. It has been overcast until now, but now the sun is coming out. The temperature is rising, and this is looking to be a very nice weather for the remainder of the round, for the remainder of the 7 more holes we have left to play on this final round of the lead card of the FPO division. The real danger on this hole is going too much to the right, or actually too early to the right, because those trees on the right side tend to eat up discs, and there's also quite a bit of foliage as well as undergrowth, so lost discs are always an issue. Once we're here on hole number 12 at the Sibbe Disc Golf Course, the Tyyni layout of the Sibbe Disc Golf Course. In the normal layout, this would be hole 17, for those of you who are familiar with the course already in advance. Fairway is clearing up. The ladies in the chase card are currently about 35 meters away from the basket, throwing in their putts or approaches depending on their lies, and we should be able to start moving down the fairway in just a few minutes. So 152 meters. It is 100 meters to clear that second hill, from which the fairway starts turning towards the right. And from there, it's a 50-meter approach left to the basket, which however is a bit guarded. First on the tee is Jenni Eskelinen, here on hole 12. Jenni throws in that shot that is trailing to the right. It turns a bit too soon, gets a kick back to the fairway. She should be able to see the basket from there. Luke up next. Looking to throw a similar line. She just does not get the turn that Jenni did, and she is left short. She is only about 30 meters in front of the basket on the left side behind that pine tree. Kristin up next. Kristin throws a beautiful hyzer flip that keeps turning until it starts stabling out a bit too soon, and she is a little to the left off the fairway, only about 35 meters away from the pin though. Heidi throws it also a very nice looking shot until she clips that final branch, but the kick, however, does not take her deep to the left side. She's standing in the open with a clear look at the basket from where she is. She is about 70 meters or so away from the basket, so another mid-range shot for her from that position, I would suspect.
About to comment that point, but I was reading the other comments and everything was said, I think. In my opinion, it's not really like that, but it makes too many context to decide.
We're approaching Luke Gasly. She's sizing up her options from behind this pine tree. Looks like she's opted to go sidearm enhancer or sidearm flex. She clears the first branches, but stables out too soon, and she finds herself in trouble on the right side of the fairway. We're moving to, I believe, Jenni's lie next. She's a little pinched on the right side. She did get a favorable kick towards the center of the fairway though, so she should be able to throw a fairly routine approach from there. So it seems like Jenni and Heidi are almost the exact same distance away from the basket, except Heidi on the left side and Jenni on the right side of the fairway. So Jenni will be throwing first. Jenni 70 meters away from the basket. Jenni throws a nice looking anhyzer line. She hits the last possible tree she could, and that tree kicks the disc right down from midair. She is about 20 meters away from the pin still. Heidi up next, opting to go also sidearm flex. We haven't seen Heidi throw many sidearms yet, so this will be exciting. She gives it a bit too much angle, so it hits the ground, cuts to the right, and she will find herself a little obstructed on the right side with 25 more meters to go to the pin. This is a very tough hole, because not only do you need to have the distance to reach the basket, there is also so much trees, so much those small limbs and small branches to contend with, that these players will have to bring in their entire skill set to score well on this hole. So Christine is sizing up her lie. She is in the middle of those baby birch trees, so there are quite a lot of them. They're not very thick, but there are a lot of them, so she's gonna have to find a gap she can navigate through. Christine throws a sidearm, catches the top limb of that tree, that steals all the speed of that disc. She falls down in front of the basket, 30 meters away, with a clear look. Lykke from the right side of the fairway is looking to go sidearm hyzer. She throws her disc directly at that tree and is denied yet again from reaching the basket from where she was. Very unfortunate for her. We're now sitting 35 meters away from the pin. Maybe 40. Heidi is getting ready to approach with her third shot here on hole 12. Heidi is looking for a steady footing to continue from. Heidi's shot looks to trail towards the basket very nicely. She's only 4 meters away. That was a very well executed shot, and she should have a fairly routine putt for her par 4. A nice comeback after the mishap on the previous hole. Kristin up next with her third shot. That's a beautiful looking sidearm shot. She is about 6 meters away from the pin. She was able to dodge all of those 6 guardian trees in front of the basket. Very well done. Jenny is 25 meters out in the middle of the woods there. Oh, except that it is, we're walking in front of Lykke all the time. Sorry for that. So Lykke is a little over 30 meters out. She's talking with her caddy, trying to decide on what the best way to attack this next shot is. She is looking to go sidearm once again. From between the trees. She looks to be attempting a sidearm hyzer line. It's looking nice, trailing in. It catches that one tree that stops the speed of that disc from going too far. So that was a very, very good break for Luke in this case. She's left with only about 4 meters to go to the pin after that shot. Now it is Jenny from about 30 meters out. A little over 30 meters out. Jenny throws an anhyzer approach. She clears those trees in front of the basket and lands to just within circle one's edge from the basket. We're moving in closer to the tee. Seems Jenny is 7 meters or 6 meters away from the basket and is the furthest from the pin. She hits the cage. Kristin up next for her 4. This would give her a chance to claw one back. She does exactly that. That's like directly in the middle of the basket. Heart of the chains, nice catch. So Kristin scores a par 4 here on hole 12, catching Jenny by at least 1. Luca throws in her putt from about 5 meters from behind that tree. Very well done. Heidi with what I believe for her is nothing but a tap in from about 4 or 5 meters away from the basket. And now we're moving to hole number 13. This is a downhill hole of 75 meters or so over a heart-shaped hazard area. Yeah, I correct myself again. It's 90 meters, so 90 meters downhill, steep downhill. There's a heart-shaped hazard area just in front of the basket, so it is a hazard, which means that the players will continue their play from where they landed, but with a 1-stroke penalty if they go inside that hazard. So the scores for the previous hole were that Jenny and Luke both scored bogey 5s on that hole, whereas Kristin and Heidi were able to capitalize on their pars, throwing only 4 shots on that hole, which tightens the lead again, so that now we have Jenny still leading, but only with 1-stroke advantage over Kristin, who holds a 1-stroke lead over Luke, who holds a 1-stroke lead over Heidi. Kristin bams one in downhill. It's getting so close, just underneath the basket. That was very nearly an aced hole. Very nicely done. Hades up next. Hades throws in a nice looking shot as well. She clips a branch on the right side. Trail is left and is left on the right side of the basket with some more ways to go. Jenny up next. Jenny's shot turns to the right. We'll see if that one will come back. From where I'm standing currently, I could not see where that landed, but I'm guessing she's about 30 meters away. So Luca throws it down the gap. It starts fading back in. It's looking nice. It takes a skip from about a couple of meters behind the basket and skips to just inside circle one's edge. And seems like after that small clip to the top of that birch tree, Hades is left with about a 15-meter distance between her and the basket. But we'll see. Well, we're moving down the stairs, letting the players go first. Moving down the stairs to the grassy area below the tee pad here on hole number 13 at the Sandvik course. Remember, you can check out the live scoring at udisclive.com, not only for our lead card, but for all the cards playing here in Tyyni 2019. So go check out the scoreboard, the action, and the play-by-play results from the other cards from udisclive.com to see how your favorite player is doing today. None of our players seem to find the heart-shaped hazard area, which is, of course, a good thing. But Jenny's shot did escape too much to the right. She turned it over from the tee just a little bit, and with that altitude change coming downhill, she finds herself 35 meters away from the pin with that quite thick birch tree between her and the basket at exactly circle's edge. She opts to take a knee from that position, possibly looking to go straight, or a slight hyzer on the right side of that tree. Yep, she slides it very nicely underneath the basket. She only has about 3 more meters left for her par 3 here on hole 13. So Hades, 15 meters long off the basket, looking to capitalize on this. She does a jumper and lays up just leaning on the pole of that basket. That's an easy 3 for her. Up next is Luca from just outside circle 1. She is looking at a 12-meter jumper from there. Slightly uphill though. And she just misses on the left side of the basket, unable to score that birdie. Kristin cleared out those chains that were stuck to each other on the basket. She wants to make sure that she scores this birdie to make her tied to the lead again. She is about 9 meters out from the basket, looking at an even ground putt from a slightly awkward footing. She does exactly that, low right side chains. She scores a birdie 2 here on hole 13, which will make her tied with Jenny in the lead again. This battle has been going back and forth ever since hole 1, and it's been really exciting to watch.